The large ship moved slowly through space toward the small blue planet. Inside the ship, 3 very different aliens sat around a glowing table. They had been traveling for many days to reach this place called Earth. Ambassador Kethira looked like a floating jellyfish made of light. Her people, the Veilter, had ruled the galaxy for 50,000 years. They were proud and thought they knew everything about other species. Next to her sat a creature that looked like a giant crystal that hummed with strange music. This was Elder Xianthara of the Jekmoth people. The third alien looked like a walking tree with many colored leaves. Elder Bloomwhisper belonged to the Seer Andy race. These 3 races called themselves the Elder races because they had been in space the longest. They had seen many new species join their galactic family. Most new species were scared when they first met the Elder races. Most begged for help and protection. The Elder races liked this because it made them feel important and powerful. The humans should be easy to deal with, said Kethira. Her voice sounded like wind chimes in a soft breeze. We have watched them for years. They are simple creatures. They fight each other often. They pollute their own planet. They should be grateful that we want to help them. Zenthara made a sound like a bell ringing. Our scans show they have basic space travel. They have simple weapons. They pose no threat to us. We can give them small gifts of technology in exchange for their loyalty. Bloom Whisper rustled her leaves. They eat both plants and animals. This is disturbing, but not unusual. Many species do this before. They become civilized. We will teach them better ways. The ship's computer spoke in a calm voice. We are now entering Earth's atmosphere. The humans are expecting us. They have prepared a meeting place in a city called Geneva. Down on Earth, President Elizabeth Kane stood in a large white building. She wore her best blue suit and had practiced her speech many times. Around her, scientists and soldiers moved quickly, making final preparations. Are you ready, Madam President? Asked Dr. Richard Stone. He was a thin man with gray hair who studied space and stars. He had dreamed of this day his whole life. As ready as anyone can be for meeting aliens, Elizabeth replied. She tried to sound calm, but her hands shook slightly. Dr. Lisa Park walked up to them. She was a young woman who studied animals and how they behaved. I've prepared information about Earth's wildlife. The aliens might want to know about our ecosystems. Colonel Jake Morrison stood nearby. He was a strong man with short black hair who had fought in many battles. His job was to keep everyone safe. My team is ready. We don't expect trouble, but we're prepared for anything. The room grew quiet as a bright light appeared in the center. The light grew bigger and brighter until it hurt to look at. Then, slowly, 3 strange shapes appeared inside the light. The first alien floated in the air like a ghost. It glowed with soft purple light and had long, thin arms that moved like water. The second alien looked like a giant piece of colored glass. It stood on the ground, but seemed to vibrate and hum. The third alien was the strangest of all. It looked like a tree that could walk, with green and gold leaves that moved even though there was no wind. Greetings, people of Earth, said the floating alien. The words came from a small device that translated the alien's real speech. I am Ambassador Kethira of the Veilter. We come in peace to welcome you to the galactic community. President Kane stepped forward. She had practiced this moment many times. Welcome to Earth. I am President Elizabeth Kane. We are honored by your visit. The crystal alien made sounds like music. The translator said, I am Elder Zenthara. Your species shows promise. We will help you join the galaxy. The tree-like alien rustled its leaves. I am Elder Bloomwhisper. We have much to teach you about peaceful living. Dr. Stone could not contain his excitement. We have so many questions. How do you travel between stars? How many worlds have you visited? What other species are out there? The aliens looked at each other. They had not expected such bold questions. Most new species were too scared to speak at first. Your curiosity is interesting, said Kythera. Most species are overwhelmed by first contact. You seem remarkably calm. Colonel Morrison stepped forward. We've been expecting this day for a long time. We've prepared for many possibilities. Prepared? Asked Zenthara. You mean you have weapons ready to fight us? We have defenses, Morrison replied honestly. But we prefer to make friends. The aliens found this strange. Usually, new species either cowered in fear or attacked in panic. These humans seem to be doing neither. Tell us about your world, said Bloom Whisper. What makes your species special? Dr. Park smiled. We live in harmony with many other species. We share our world with countless animals. We've learned to work together with nature. Work together? Asked Kythera. You mean you farm plants for food? That's part of it, said Dr. Park. But we also keep many animals as companions. They live in our homes and families. The aliens' translation devices struggled with some words. Companions? Asked Zenthara. You mean you keep other species as slaves? No, not slaves, laughed Elizabeth. Friends, partners. They choose to live with us. That is impossible, said Bloom Whisper firmly. Other species cannot choose. They follow instinct only. Dr. Stone raised his eyebrows. I think you'd be surprised. Would you like to? See how we live. We could show you a typical human neighborhood. The aliens agreed, thinking this would be easy. They expected to see humans living in fear behind walls, protected from the dangerous animals of their world. They expected to see a species that had barely survived to reach basic civilization. They had no idea what they were about to discover. Excellent, said Elizabeth. Dr. Park, would you arrange a tour of Maple Grove? I think our guests would enjoy seeing how ordinary families live. Of course, said Dr. Park. I know the perfect place to start. As the meeting ended, the aliens felt confident. These humans seemed friendly but simple. They would be easy to guide and control. The elder races had done this hundreds of times before. None of them noticed the small photo on President Kane's desk. It showed her at home, smiling as she petted a large, furry animal with sharp teeth and alert eyes. The photo was labeled Elizabeth and Rex, best friends. If they had seen it, and if they had understood what it meant, they might have left Earth immediately. But they didn't see it. And soon, everything they thought they knew about the universe would change forever. 3 days later, the aliens stood on a quiet street in a place called Maple Grove. Dr. Park had brought them to see how normal humans lived. The street was lined with small houses, each with a green yard and colorful flowers. Children played on sidewalks while adults worked in their gardens. This is a typical American neighborhood, explained Dr. Park. About 300 families live here. It's very peaceful. Ambassador Kythera floated above the ground, her sensors scanning the area. Suddenly, her glowing body flashed bright red. Something is wrong, she said in a worried voice. What do? You mean? Asked Dr. Park. Elder Zenthara began humming loudly, a sign of distress among his people. Our sensors detect massive predator life signs. They are everywhere. Elder Bloom Whisper-S leaves turn dark green with fear. The readings show creatures with bone-crushing jaws and razor-sharp claws. How are you still alive? Dr. Park looked confused. I'm not sure what you mean. This is one of the safest neighborhoods in the city. Safe? Kythera's voice rose high. Our instruments show dozens of apex predators within 100 meters. These creatures could kill any of us in seconds. The aliens huddled together as they walked down the street. Their sensors beeped constantly, warning them of danger from every house they passed. "There!" shouted Zenthara, pointing at a White House with blue shutters. "That building contains a massive predator. Our scans show it has enhanced bite force and pack hunting instincts." Dr. Park looked at the Henderson house. "Oh, that's just where the Henderson family lives. They have a really sweet dog named Buddy." "Dog?" The aliens' translators struggled with the word. "Yes, a golden retriever. He's wonderful with children." Before the aliens could ask more questions, the front door opened. A small girl with blonde hair came running out. She was about 7 years old and wore a pink dress. "Amy, come back inside," called a woman's voice from the house, but Amy was already running toward them. "Are you the aliens? You look so cool." The alien sensors went crazy as something large moved inside the house. Heavy footsteps approached the door. The readings showed a creature weighing over 70 pounds with powerful muscles and sharp teeth. "Run!" screamed Kathira. "The predator is coming." But Amy just laughed. "Silly, Buddy isn't scary. He's the best dog in the world." The door opened wider, and out came the creature their sensors had detected. It was covered in golden fur and had a long tail that moved back and forth. Its mouth was open, showing white teeth, and its tongue hung out. The aliens expected to see a caged beast or some kind of force field keeping it contained. Instead, they watched in horror as the creature ran straight toward little Amy. "It's attacking," cried Bloom Whisper. But instead of attacking, the creature gently nudged Amy with its nose. Amy giggled and wrapped her arms around the animal's neck. "Good boy, Buddy," she said, scratching behind his ears. "Did you miss me?" The creature's tail moved faster. It licked Amy's face, making her laugh even more. Dr. Park smiled. "See? He's just a friendly dog. Dogs love children." The aliens could not believe what they were seeing. According to their sensors, they were watching a child play with a creature that could easily kill her. But the creature seemed to be protecting her, not hunting her. "This is impossible," whispered Zenthara. "Predators do not behave this way." "What's impossible?" asked Amy, still hugging Buddy. "He's just a dog." Mrs. Henderson came out of the house. She was a kind-looking woman with brown hair. "I'm sorry if Buddy is bothering you. He loves meeting new people." "He's not bothering us," said Dr. Park. "I was just showing our visitors how humans and dogs live together." "Oh, you're the aliens," said Mrs. Henderson excitedly. "How wonderful. Would you like to come in for tea? I just made cookies." The alien sensors detected more predator life signs inside the house. "There are more of them," Kathira said quietly to the others. "More what?" asked Mrs. Henderson. "More dogs?" asked Dr. Park. "Oh, yes, we have 2 cats as well, Whiskers and Mittens. They're probably napping in the living room." The aliens' translators had trouble with the word cats. When they finally understood, their sensors confirmed the presence of 2 more predators. These were smaller, but showed the characteristics of solitary hunters with retractable claws. "You keep multiple predator species in your home?" asked Zenthara in shock. "Well, yes," said Mrs. Henderson. "They're family." "Family?" Bloom Whisper S. Lees rustled with confusion. "You mean you have adopted predators as offspring?" "In a way," laughed Mrs. Henderson. "They're like our children. We feed them, play with them, and take care of them when they're sick." Just then, Mr. Henderson came walking up the street. He was a tall man with a friendly smile, carrying a bag of groceries. "Bill's home," said Amy, running toward him. "Buddy." The dog saw his owner and began running too. To the aliens, it looked like the predator was charging to attack. "Look out!" shouted Kathira, but Mr. Henderson just dropped his groceries and opened his arms. Buddy jumped up and put his front paws on his owner's chest. Mr. Henderson began petting the dog and speaking in a high, silly voice. "Who's a good boy? Who's the best boy in the world? Yes, you are. Yes, you are." The aliens watched in amazement as this grown human spoke to the predator like it was a baby. Even stranger, the predator seemed to love every moment of it. "I don't understand," said Zenthara. "Why is he making those sounds?" "He's talking to Buddy," explained Amy. "All dogs like baby talk." "Baby talk?" asked Bloom Whisper. "You know, when you talk in a high voice and say nice things, it makes them happy." Dr. Park nodded. "It's one of the ways humans bond with their pets. We use special voices and words to show love." "Love?" asked Kathira. "You feel love for predators?" "Of course," said Mrs. Henderson. "They're part of our family. We love them, and they love us back." As if to prove her point, 2 cats appeared in the window of the house. One was black and white, the other was orange. They watched the scene outside with bright yellow eyes. The alien sensors identified these creatures as having enhanced reflexes, night vision, and retractable claws designed for killing. Yet they sat calmly in the window, looking bored. "Those are Whiskers and Mittens," said Amy, pointing at the cats. "They don't like to come outside much. They prefer to sleep on the couch." "Sleep?" asked Zenthara. "Predators sleep in your home?" "Well, yes," said Mr. Henderson, finally setting Buddy down. "Where else would they sleep? In cages? In containment fields? Under armed guard?" suggested Kathira. The Henderson family laughed. "That's silly," said Amy. "Buddy sleeps in my bed with me. He keeps me warm and safe." "Safe?" Bloom whispers. Leaves turned pale. "A predator makes you feel safe?" "Of course. If anyone tried to hurt me, Buddy would protect me." "Dogs are very loyal." The aliens looked at each other. Nothing they were seeing made sense, according to their understanding of biology and behavior. "How do you control them?" asked Zenthara. "What technology do you use?" "We don't control them," said Mrs. Henderson. "We train them with treats and praise. They want to make us happy." "Want to make you happy?" repeated Kathira. "Predators do not have such complex emotions." "Sure they do," said Mr. Henderson. "Dogs are very emotional. They get excited when we come home, sad when we leave, and happy when they get treats." "Treats?" asked Bloom Whisper. "Special food we give them as rewards," explained Amy. "Watch this." She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small brown object. "Buddy, sit." The large predator immediately sat down, his tail wagging and his eyes focused on the treat. "Good boy," said Amy, giving him the treat. Buddy ate it happily. "The predator obeyed a command from a child," whispered Zenthara to the others. "This should be impossible." "Now shake hands," said Amy. Buddy lifted his paw, and Amy shook it gently. Such a smart boy. The aliens watched in silent shock. A creature that their sensors said could kill any of them was performing tricks for a 7-year-old human. "We should go," said Dr. Park, noticing the aliens' distress. "Thank you for showing us Buddy, Mrs. Henderson. Any time. It was wonderful meeting you all. Come back and visit us soon." As they walked away from the house, the aliens moved in stunned silence. Their sensors continued to detect predator life signs from every house they passed. "This changes everything," said Kathira quietly. "How many humans live this way?" asked Zenthara. "Most of them," replied Dr. Park casually. "About 68% of American families have pets. Dogs are the most popular, but cats are very common too." 68%? Bloom Whisper S. Leaves rustled with shock. "You mean most humans live with predators?" "Yes, and we love it. Pets make life better. They're loyal, loving, and great companions." The aliens walked the rest of the street in silence Each house they passed seemed to contain more impossible things. Children played in yards, while large dogs ran around them. Cats sat in windows, watching the world with predator eyes. Adults walked by carrying bags of something called dog food. "What have we gotten ourselves into?" whispered Kathira. But this was only the beginning. What they would see next would shake the very foundations of their understanding of the universe. The next morning, Dr. Stone met the aliens at their hotel. He was excited to show them more of human culture. "Today we're going to Central Park in New York City," he announced. "It's one of our most famous parks. You'll see how humans enjoy nature and exercise." The aliens climbed into a vehicle that Dr. Stone called a bus. During the ride, they tried to process what they had seen the day before. Their scientific minds struggled to understand how predators could live peacefully with humans. "Perhaps yesterday was unusual," suggested Zenthara. "Maybe only a few humans live with predators." "No," said Dr. Stone, overhearing them. "Pet ownership is very common. I have a dog myself. His name is Charlie." "You also keep a predator?" asked Kathira in surprise. "Of course. Charlie is a German shepherd. He's very smart and loyal. He even helps me with my work sometimes." The aliens' translators struggled with German shepherd. When they finally understood it was another type of dog, their sensors began calculating the threat level. According to their database, German shepherds were used by human military and police forces. "You keep a military animal?" "As a pet?" asked Bloom Whisper. "Well, Charlie isn't military trained, but German shepherds are often used that way. They're very intelligent and protective." The bus stopped at Central Park, and the aliens stepped out into chaos. Their sensors immediately detected dozens of predator life signs. Creatures of various sizes moved freely through the area, many of them not restrained in any way. "This is impossible," whispered Zenthara. "How is anyone still alive?" What they saw next broke their understanding of reality completely. Humans were running through the park, and many of them had large predators running beside them. The creatures kept pace with their humans, tongues hanging out, looking happy rather than hungry. "Those are joggers," explained Dr. Stone. "Many people exercise with their dogs. It's good for both human and dog health." "Exercise?" asked Kathira. "You mean they run with predators for fun?" "Exactly. Dogs love to run. It makes them happy." A woman jogged past them with what their sensors identified as a German shepherd, the same type of creature Dr. Stone had mentioned. The animal was large and muscular, with alert ears and intelligent eyes. It could easily outrun and overpower its human companion, yet it stayed perfectly beside her. "The predator could escape at any time," observed Zenthara. "Escape?" Dr. Stone looked confused. "Why would it want to escape?" "That's Sarah and her dog Max. They run together every morning. Max loves it." More joggers passed by with different types of dogs. Some were small and fluffy. Others were large and powerful. All of them seemed happy to be running with their humans. "Come on," said Dr. Stone. "I want to show you the dog park." They walked deeper into the park until they reached a fenced area, filled with the most terrifying sight the aliens had ever seen. Dozens of predators of different species were running free in an enclosed space. Some were as small as cats, others as large as small horses. They chased each other, played with toys, and interacted in ways that should have resulted in massive bloodshed. "This is the dog park," said Dr. Stone proudly. "Dogs can run free here and socialize with other dogs." "Socialize?" asked Bloom Whisper. Faintly, "Yes, dogs are social animals. They like to play together and make friends." The aliens watched in horror as a creature their sensors called a pit bull, identified as having bite force comparable to ancient mega predators, gently played with a tiny dog the size of a small rabbit. The large predator could have swallowed the smaller one whole, but instead it carefully rolled on its back to let the little dog climb on top of it. "Why isn't the large predator eating the small one?" asked Kethira. "Because they're playing," said Dr. Stone. "Dogs don't eat other dogs. They're friends. Friends." The word didn't translate well into any of the alien languages. Even more disturbing were the humans who stood around the edges of the area. They were talking to each other, laughing, and completely ignoring the fact that they were surrounded by creatures that could kill them in seconds. "The humans show no fear," observed Xanthara. "Why? Would they be afraid?" asked Dr. Stone. "These are all friendly dogs. Look how happy they are." A small human child, no more than 5 years old, was sitting in the grass inside the park. 3 large dogs surrounded her, and she was petting all of them at once. Her parents stood nearby, smiling and taking pictures. "That child is in extreme danger," said Kethira urgently. "No, she's not," said Dr. Stone. "Those dogs are very gentle with children. Dogs have a natural instinct to protect young humans." "Protect?" asked Bloom Whisper. "Predators protect prey?" "Dogs don't think of humans as prey. We're their family. They would die to protect us." The alien sensors detected something else disturbing. Many of the humans were carrying small bags and picking up waste left by the predators. "The humans are cleaning up after the predators," noted Xanthara. "Yes, it's the law. Dog owners must clean up after their pets. It's part of being a responsible pet owner." "The predators make the humans serve them?" asked Kethira. "It's not serving. It's caring for them. We love our pets, so we take care of them." A man walked by with a creature that made all the alien sensors scream warnings. It was massive, with a broad chest and powerful legs. Their database identified it as a Rottweiler, a guard dog breed designed for protection and intimidation. But the terrifying creature was wearing a pink collar with small bells on it, and it walked calmly beside its owner, occasionally stopping to sniff flowers. "That predator is decorated," observed Bloom Whisper. "Yes, that's Luna. She belongs to my neighbor Frank. He loves to dress her up. She has about 20 different collars." "The predator allows itself to be decorated?" "She loves it. Dogs like attention and pretty things." They continued walking through the park, and each new sight was more impossible than the last. Humans threw balls and sticks, and the predators chased them and brought them back. Humans gave commands, and the predators obeyed instantly. Children ran and played, while large predators watched them protectively. "I need to understand," said Xanthara desperately. "How do you control these creatures? What technology do you use?" "We don't control them," said Dr. Stone. "We train them with patience and love. Dogs want to please their owners." "Want to please?" asked Kethira. "You mean they choose to obey?" "Exactly. Dogs are naturally loyal. They've been our companions for thousands of years." "Thousands of years?" The aliens looked at each other in shock. "Oh, yes. Humans and dogs have been friends for at least 15,000 years. Maybe longer." The aliens' minds reeled. This wasn't a recent development or a new technology. Humans had been living with predators for longer than some alien civilizations had existed. "But how did it start?" asked Bloom Whisper. "Dogs evolved from wolves," explained Dr. Stone. "Long ago, wolves began following human hunting parties. Over time, the friendliest wolves started living with humans. Eventually, they became dogs." "Wolves?" The aliens' translators found this word in their databases. Wolves were pack-hunting predators that had once been among the most dangerous creatures on Earth. Yes, all dogs are descended from wolves. Pretty amazing, right? The aliens stared at a small, fluffy dog that was being carried in a woman's purse. This tiny creature which looked like a living toy, was descended from one of Earth's apex predators. "This is impossible," whispered Zenthara. "Predators do not evolve to serve other species." "They don't serve us," corrected Dr. Stone. "They live with us. It's a partnership." "Partnership?" asked Kithira. "Yes, we take care of them, and they take care of us. They provide companionship, protection, and love. We provide food, shelter, and medical care." "Medical care?" asked Bloom Whisper. "Of course. We have doctors who specialize in treating animals. They're called veterinarians." The aliens realized that humans had built an entire support system around keeping predators healthy and happy. This wasn't just a few humans with unusual pets. This was a fundamental part of human civilization. "We need to see more," said Kithir urgently. "More what?" asked Dr. Stone. "More of how humans live with predators. We must understand this phenomenon." "Sure, there's a pet store nearby. We could visit that next." The aliens agreed, not knowing that they were about to discover something even more shocking than what they had already seen. As they left the park, a small dog ran up to them. It was white and fluffy, with a pink ribbon in its fur. The alien sensors identified it as a predator, but it looked like a toy. "Hello, Princess," said Dr. Stone, kneeling down to pet the dog. "Where's your owner?" "Princess?" asked Zenthara. "That's her name. Isn't she beautiful?" The predator wagged its tail and licked Dr. Stone's hand. To the aliens, it looked like the creature was tasting him before eating him. "She's being friendly," explained Dr. Stone. Dogs licked to show affection. A woman came running over. "Princess, there you are. I'm so sorry. She got away from me." "No problem," said Dr. Stone. "She's a sweetheart." The woman picked up the small predator and cuddled it like a baby. "She's my little angel. I don't know what I'd do without her." As they walked away, the aliens realized they had witnessed something that challenged everything they thought they knew about evolution, behavior, and the nature of life itself. "We must report this to the Galactic Council," said Kithira. "Report? What?" asked Zenthara. "That we may have made a terrible mistake about these humans." That evening, the three aliens sat in their hotel room, surrounded by recording devices and data screens. They had spent the day at something humans called a pet store, and what they saw there had shaken them to their core. "We must contact the Galactic Council immediately," said Ambassador Kithira. Her light was dim with worry. "But what do we tell them?" asked Elder Zenthara. "That humans keep predators as family members? They will think we have lost our minds." "We have video evidence," said Elder Bloom Whisper. Her leaves rustled nervously. "But I still can't believe what we saw today." At the pet store, they had discovered that humans didn't just keep one or two types of predators. They maintained entire ecosystems of creatures that should have been competing for the same territory. Fish that could strip meat from bone swam in glass tanks for decoration. Snakes that could kill with poison were kept in bedrooms. Birds with sharp beaks and claws lived in cages in family rooms. Even worse, the humans seemed to love these creatures. They bought them special food, toys, and medical care. They spent enormous amounts of money keeping predators healthy and happy. "The economic implications alone are staggering," said Zenthara. "We estimate that humans spend over $90 billion per year on pet care." $90 billion, repeated Kithira, "spent on maintaining predators. And that's just in America," added Bloom Whisper. Dr. Stone said other countries have similar practices. They began preparing their report to the Galactic Council. As they worked, each alien thought about what this meant for their own species. The Veilter had evolved from small, prey-like creatures. For millions of years, they had lived in fear of predators. Their entire civilization was built around avoiding, hiding from, or deterring dangerous animals. They had developed advanced shields, barriers, and escape technologies. The idea that another species would voluntarily live with apex predators was literally impossible for them to understand. The Jik moth had evolved from crystalline beings that reproduced through harmonic vibrations. They had eliminated all aggression from their society thousands of years ago through careful genetic engineering. They believed that true intelligence meant rising above basic animal instincts. The discovery that humans had somehow turned their greatest enemies into allies suggested a level of strategic thinking that was beyond even Jekmoth understanding. The Sirandi were plant-based life forms who had always feared creatures that ate vegetation. They had spent centuries developing chemical defenses against herbivores and omnivores. The idea that humans regularly shared their homes with creatures that could eat them was terrifying beyond words. "We're sending the first report now," said Kathira. The message traveled through space at faster than light speed. Within hours, it reached the Galactic Council headquarters on the planet Nexus Prime. The response was immediate and panicked. "Emergency session called," came the reply. "All elder race representatives must attend immediately. This cannot be accurate." Within 6 hours, the most powerful beings in the galaxy were gathered in the great crystal chamber of the Galactic Council. Representatives from hundreds of species watched screens showing the recordings from Earth. The first video showed little. Amy Henderson hugging a creature that the Council's computers identified as a pack-hunting carnivore with enhanced bite force. The child was laughing as the predator licked her face. "This must be some form of mind control," suggested High Counselor Vextai of the Aquatic Dominion. "Our scans show no evidence of technological manipulation," replied Kathira through the communication system. "The humans appear to be acting of their own free will." The next video showed the dog park, where dozens of predators interacted peacefully while humans stood nearby without fear. "Impossible," declared Supreme Elder Korthven of the Hive Collective. "Predators cannot suppress their hunting instincts. According to our research, these creatures have been selectively bred for thousands of years," reported Xanthara. "Humans have created predators that are loyal only to them." The council chamber fell silent as they watched more footage. Humans jogging with military-grade attack animals. Children playing with creatures that had retractable claws. Adults cleaning up after predators and speaking to them in loving voices. "Show them the pet store footage," ordered Council Leader Mordith, an ancient being whose species had ruled the galaxy before even the elder races. The screens showed the inside of the pet store, where humans casually walked among creatures that could kill them in dozens of different ways. Fish with razor teeth swam in open tanks. Reptiles with crushing jaws basked under heat lamps. Birds with talons sharp enough to tear flesh perched on branches, allowing human children to pet them. "They have weaponized evolution itself," whispered High Admiral Zexkira of the War Caste. "These humans have turned their planet's deadliest creatures into personal armies." "It gets worse," said Bloom, whisper through the communication link. "We discovered that many humans keep multiple predator species in the same dwelling. They create mixed species households that should result in constant warfare." The council watched footage of a human family eating dinner while a large dog sat beside the table and 2 cats watched from nearby chairs. The predators made no attempt to fight each other or attack the humans. "The predators have been programmed to coexist," observed Chief Scientist Neltara of the Research Guild. "But how?" "Not programmed," corrected Kathira. "Trained. The humans use something they call positive reinforcement. They reward desired behavior with food and attention." "Food and attention?" repeated Mordith. "That's all?" "According to our interviews with multiple humans, yes. They claim that love and patience are the only tools needed to train any animal." The chamber erupted in shocked voices. "Species that had spent millennia developing complex technologies to control simple organisms were hearing that humans could train apex predators with nothing but kindness. There must be more to it, insisted war leader Bractos of the Iron Confederation. Show us their control mechanisms. The screens showed a human woman named Linda teaching a large German shepherd to sit and stay using only her voice and small pieces of food. The predator obeyed every command instantly. The creature obeys without question, noted Bractos. What weapons does the human carry? None, replied Zenthara. Our scans showed no weapons, no control devices, no technological aids of any kind. The predator obeys because it chooses to obey. Impossible, declared multiple council members at once. The most disturbing footage came next. It showed Dr. Stone arriving at his home after work. A large German shepherd ran to greet him, tail wagging, clearly excited to see him return. The predator demonstrates joy at the human's return, observed Neltara. It shows emotional attachment. Yes, confirmed Kithira. Humans claim that their pets love them, and our scans suggest this may be accurate. Predators cannot experience love, stated Supreme Medical Officer Helenara. Love is a complex emotion that requires advanced neural development. Our brain scans of the creatures suggest otherwise, replied Bloomwhisper. They show neural activity consistent with emotional bonding, loyalty, and what humans call affection. The council watched more footage showing humans and their pets interacting in ways that defied everything they understood about predator-prey relationships. Dogs protecting human children from strangers. Cats comforting sick humans. Pets sitting vigil beside their owners' hospital beds. These aren't pets, said High Counselor Vextai slowly. These are allies. Worse than allies, corrected War Leader Bractos. These are willing servants who have emotional investment in their human families. The strategic implications are enormous, added High Admiral Zexkira. If humans can turn any species into loyal followers, what does that mean for galactic politics? Council Leader Mordith raised his hand for silence. How long has this been going on? According to human records, the relationship between humans and dogs began at least 15,000 years ago, reported Zenthara. Cats have been with humans for approximately 9,000 years. The practice of keeping other species as pets is constantly expanding. 15,000 years, repeated Mordith. They've been perfecting this technique for 15,000 years. It gets worse, said Kithira quietly. We asked Dr. Stone about the origins of these relationships. He told us that most of them began when humans took in orphaned or injured wild animals. The humans nursed them back to health, and the animals chose to stay. Chose to stay? The concept was so alien that several council members' translators couldn't process it. According to human history, wolves began following human hunting parties of their own free will. Over generations, the friendliest wolves integrated into human society. Humans didn't capture and train them. The wolves came to them. The chamber fell completely silent as the implications sank in. You're telling us, said Supreme Elder Korthvan slowly, that Earth's apex predators voluntarily submitted to human authority? That appears to be correct, confirmed Bloomwhisper. And that humans have been refining this process for 15 millennia? Yes. And that they've expanded it to include dozens of different predator species? Hundreds, corrected Zenthara. Our research shows that humans keep over 300 different species as pets. War Leader Bractos stood up from his chair. We need to reconsider our entity. 6 months later, President Elizabeth Kane sat in her office, looking at reports that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. The elder races, who had once treated humanity as junior partners, now competed with each other to offer the most. Generous trade deals and technology transfers. The Veiltar are offering us their entire psychic defense network, said Dr. Richard Stone, reading from a datapad. In exchange for what they call predator management consulting, the Jekmoth want to establish a joint military academy, added Colonel Jake Morrison. They want our soldiers to teach their people about tactical animal integration. And the Sirendi are begging us to help them deal with the herbivore raids on their outer colonies, finished Dr. Lisa Park. They're offering unlimited access to their agricultural technologies. Elizabeth shook her head in amazement. All because we have pets. It's more than that, said Dr. Park thoughtfully. I've been studying the alien psychology reports. Their species evolved very differently from us. The idea of turning enemies into friends is completely foreign to them. The Veilter ran from their predators, explained Dr. Stone. The Jekmoth eliminated their aggressive instincts entirely. The Sirandi developed chemical weapons against anything that might eat them. None of them ever thought to try making friends. A communication device on Elizabeth's desk chimed. Madam President, you have a call from the Galactic Council. Put them through. The screen flickered to life, showing Council Leader Mordith. Behind him, Elizabeth could see representatives from dozens of alien species. President Kane, said Mordith in a respectful voice that would have surprised his own people 6 months ago. We have a situation that requires humanity's unique expertise. What kind of situation? The Kethver Empire has been expanding aggressively into Jekmoth territory. They refuse to listen to diplomatic solutions. We believe a demonstration of human capabilities might convince them to reconsider. Elizabeth looked at her advisors. They had been expecting something like this. The galaxy's political balance had shifted dramatically since the elder races learned about human-animal relationships. What kind of demonstration did you have in mind? Perhaps you could send a representative to our council chambers? Someone who could show the Kethvor why humanity has become so important to galactic stability. Elizabeth smiled. I think we can arrange that. Colonel Morrison, would you be willing to take a trip? Jake Morrison grinned. I'd be honored, Madam President. Should I bring Rex? Definitely bring Rex. 3 days later, Colonel Morrison stood in the great crystal chamber of the Galactic Council. Beside him sat Rex, a Belgian Malinois who had served with Morrison in military operations around the world. To the assembled aliens, Rex looked like a perfectly designed combat organism. The Kethver delegation occupied one section of the chamber. They were large, aggressive beings who resembled armored lizards. Their leader, War Chief Graktar, had been demanding to know why these small mammals called humans deserved special treatment from the elder races. So you are the famous humans, said Graktar in a mocking voice. You look weak. Why should the mighty Kethver care about your opinion? Morrison remained calm. We're not asking you to care about our opinion. We're just here to share information. Information? What could you possibly know that we don't? Rex sat perfectly still beside Morrison, but every predator-evolved species in the chamber could sense the controlled power in the animal. Their sensors showed enhanced reflexes, tactical intelligence, and absolute loyalty to the human beside. We know about building partnerships, said Morrison simply. For example, Rex here used to work with me in dangerous situations. He's saved my life more times than I can count. Graktar looked at the animal dismissively. A pet? You brought? A pet to intimidate us? Rex isn't just a pet, said Morrison. He's my partner. To demonstrate, Morrison gave Rex a simple hand signal. Rex immediately moved to a position where he could see all exits while keeping Morrison protected. Another signal, and Rex circled the chamber, noting the position of every alien present. A third signal brought him back to Morrison's side. Impressive tricks, sneered Graktar. But what use is one small animal? Morrison smiled. Rex, show them what you think of loud, aggressive strangers. Graktar made the mistake of raising his voice and stepping toward Morrison aggressively. Rex's response was immediate and terrifying. The dog didn't attack. He didn't even move. He simply looked directly at Graktar and made a low, rumbling growl that seemed to come from the depths of the earth itself. Every predator-evolved species in the chamber froze. Their instincts screamed that they were in the presence of an apex predator who was ready to defend his territory. Even the Kethvar, who were larger and more heavily armored than Rex, felt their survival instincts activate. The growl lasted only 3 seconds. Then Morrison said, "Easy, boy," and Rex immediately relaxed, his tail wagging as if nothing had happened. The chamber was completely silent. "Rex doesn't want to hurt anyone," said Morrison calmly. "But he will protect me if he thinks I'm in danger. The interesting thing is, he makes that decision himself. I don't control him. He chooses to defend me." Graktar had backed away from Morrison without realizing it. "How is this possible?" "Rex loves me," said Morrison simply. "And I love him? We're family?" "Family?" Graktar's translator struggled with the concept. "Yes, Rex isn't my weapon or my tool. He's my friend. He stays with me because he wants to, not because he has to." Morrison reached into his pocket and pulled out a small treat. "Rex, sit." Rex sat immediately, his attention focused on Morrison. "Good boy." Morrison gave him the treat and scratched behind his ears. Rex's tail wagged happily. The aliens watched in amazement as one of the most dangerous creatures they had ever seen melted into a friendly pet at the touch of his human partner. "This is what makes humans special," continued Morrison. "We don't just defeat our enemies. We turn them into friends. We don't just survive in a dangerous world. We make the dangerous creatures want to protect us." Council Leader Mordith spoke. "UP, War Chief Graktar. Humanity currently maintains partnerships with over 60 million horses, creatures capable of trampling armies. They live peacefully with 300 million cats, solitary hunters with enhanced reflexes and retractable claws. They share their homes with over 400 million dogs, pack hunters descended from wolves. But that's not the most impressive part," added Elder Zenthara of the Jekmoth. "The most impressive part is that all of these creatures chose to join human families. They weren't conquered or enslaved. They were loved." Graktar looked around the chamber. Every alien present was watching him carefully. He realized that the balance of power in the galaxy had shifted in ways he hadn't understood. "What do you want from the Kethvar Empire?" he asked quietly. "Peace," said Morrison. "We want you to work with the Jekmoth to solve your territorial disputes diplomatically." "And if we refuse?" Morrison didn't answer directly. Instead, he gave Rex another hand signal. Rex stood up and walked calmly around Graktar, studying him with intelligent eyes. Then Rex returned to Morrison and sat down. "Rex says you're not really as aggressive as you pretend to be," said Morrison with a smile. "He can sense that you're more scared than angry." Graktar S armor plates shifted with embarrassment. The idea that a human's animal companion could read his emotional state was deeply unsettling. "How do we know you won't use these creatures against us?" asked Graktar. "Because that's not how friendship works," replied Morrison. "Rex protects me because he loves me. I would never ask him to hurt innocent people. But if someone threatened humanity?" Morrison's expression grew serious. "If someone threatened my family, Rex would defend them. Just like I would defend Rex." The implications were clear. Humanity didn't just have pets. They had created a galaxy-wide network of creatures that were emotionally invested in human survival. "The Kethvar Empire will consider a peaceful solution to our territorial disputes," said Graktar finally. "Excellent," said Council Leader Mordith. "I'm sure we can find an arrangement that benefits everyone." As the meeting ended, Morrison knelt down to pet Rex. "Good boy. You did great today." Rex wagged his tail and licked Morrison's face. completely unaware that he had just helped reshape galactic politics. 3 months later, Dr. Lisa Park was giving an interview to galactic media networks. The interview was being broadcast across hundreds of worlds. "Dr. Park," said the alien reporter, "what's the secret to humanity's success with animal relationships?" Lisa smiled and petted the golden retriever sitting beside her. This was Max, who had become something of a celebrity across the galaxy. "There's no secret," she said. "We just treat them like family. We give them love, food, shelter, and medical care. In return, they give us loyalty, protection, and companionship. But how do you know they won't turn on you?" "Because love works both ways," said Lisa. "Max loves me, and I love Max. That bond is stronger than any control system or weapon." Behind her, Max wagged his tail, blissfully unaware that he had been classified as a strategic deterrent weapon by half the galaxy. The interview ended with Lisa throwing a ball for Max to chase, as the cameras followed the happy dog running across the grass. Alien viewers across the galaxy watched in amazement. They were looking at the most powerful force in the universe. A.